Telugu ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ hello and welcome back to yet another fabulous episode of our talk show The Experts. First of all, let me start by wishing all of you a very happy Diwali, Andi. Rahul garu, thank you so much for being on the show, Andi.
Thank you for inviting me, Garu.
Thank you, sir. All right, to all of our viewers for today, call our expert on 1-833-882-8872. The number again is 1-833-882-8872. Watch us on Yup TV, Facebook, YouTube, Sling TV, World Baby TV, and Dish Network. All right. Rahul garu, you've chosen another very explosive topic for a very explosive day, Adi. Diwali ki dhamakedar topic anamata. What would Trump's 2024 victory mean for immigration in America? Now, sir, I know we've speculated a lot, but we would like to know your thoughts on what might happen, how things might change for the better or for worse, or and any short-term things that you foresee if Trump gets elected that people need to be aware of or be prepared for, in the coming year.
Well, first of all, the priority dates are not going to move that much. We don't expect any administrative changes coming in going forward, but the administrative changes that were being made by the Biden administration, most probably he cannot undo any of those things. For example, the passport stamping in United States will continue. It hasn't started yet, but it will starting from 2024. The H1, H4 and EAD will be approved at the same time. There are things that were started in the previous administration, for example, H4, not this, but Obama administration, H4 EAD, that will continue. I don't think so. This administration can change it. He's going to make the things a little bit harder for getting the H1B extension, H1B approvals, but of course this court system in the United States. Last time when the Trump administration was there, we did face a lot of denials. But eventually we went to the courts and we started getting approvals though. Then the administration started backing down because the court judgments were really in our favor at that point of time. So unlike other countries though, this is not a dictatorial country. The president cannot do what he wants to. There is something called Congress. In other countries, they call it as a parliament. So the will of the parliament will still continue. And if you have any problem with that, we can always go to the court system and get it administered from the court rather than going through the administration. So definitely, we will not have a very good time in Trump administration because he doesn't think that immigrants are good. But at the same time, he doesn't have that much authority that he can just single-handedly say, okay, no H-1Bs, no H-4 EADs. He can't just do that thing. He will definitely try to restrict immigration, especially the legal immigration. We know about the illegal immigration part. We're not that much concerned about it, but he will definitely try to restrict legal immigration. Now, the H-1B numbers are still limited to 65,000 plus 20,000. He cannot change that thing. He will have to approve the 85,000 H-1Bs. We will get the H-1B extensions. We will get the H-4 EADs. We will have the L1s. We'll have the L2s. We'll have the L1Bs. Those things will still come in, but everything will be restricted. I would say that if the Trump administration comes in, I suggest that people are much safer if they are with the end client companies than consulting companies. But make a note that you need to, if you are in H-1B, please get the I-140 approval before you move anywhere though. Because if you don't get the I-140 approval though, the H-1B ends in 6 years. As we know that it's taking a lot of time right now to get the H-4 I-140 approval nowadays. Previously, it used to take only 6 months. Right now, it's taking about 2.5 years to get an I-140 approval. So if you're in H-1B, if you haven't started the green card process yet though, you will have a hard time getting green card if you are in the 3rd year or 4th year of the H-1B. And the consulting companies are the best companies to get the I-140 approval though. Not the end client companies. End client companies, they have a lot of bureaucracies in getting the I-140 approval, while when it comes to the consulting companies, they're more free. They do much faster green card applications. So get an I-140 approval. That's the best thing that you could do.
Thank you, sir. Anything else you'd like to add at this point? Something that people need to watch out for? Or
those people who are expecting the priority dates to move, I tell people to keep writing letters right now to change the administrative way, because at this point of time, there is no legislation that we have pending in the Congress that we can expect it to be passed, which will have eliminate the per country quota limit, or not counting the family members. We can't get anything done in the Congress right now. It's completely divided. At the most the Congress can do right now is pass something related to the budget bills, where stalling of some of the parts of the government will be stopped. But nothing related to immigration will come in. It's not expected to come in. So please don't expect it. We want you to write to the administration. There is called legislation, which is Congress. There is called administration, which is the Biden administration. There is called judiciary. So what you could do is write letters to the administration to change the policy so that we can get the green cards faster though. Now look at it, they do give green cards. Ukraine people, they get specialty. When Nepal got into earthquake, they got the green card. I'm sorry, not green cards, but they got EADs. 𝐊𝐸𝐻, Salvadoran countries, when they got hurricanes, they get an EAD. They continue getting the EADs. Even if Nepal, it's been like 10 years, it's been an earthquake. They already rebuilt it. I recently went to Kathmandu. Everything looks fine there. But still, they still get the EADs. But yet our guys are not getting any of those things because we don't make the voice. I still request all the people to keep on writing letters. If there are kids that are aging out, please have them write letters to the congressman. That makes a lot of difference. And the administration, that makes a lot of difference.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Andy. Rahul Garu, another question I had for you was if there is going to be like a third lottery.
We are expecting a third lottery. The application process for filing until the second lottery was over on October 30th. We are in the second or third week of November right now. There is a time process. Once we file the H-1B applications, USCIS receives the application by October 30th. They take a little bit time to process the papers though. And probably it's over by this time. Most probably we may be expecting pretty soon, somewhere in November 3rd week to 4th week, we'll be expecting a lottery. Why do we expect the lottery? Is that there are a lot of companies that got into the lottery because of the criminal prosecution, what they did, very rightfully so, of those people who filed for duplicate application. They did not file the H-1B applications. We are expecting a lottery, one more third lottery right now. Hopefully so.
Okay. And on the topic of these multiple filing people, where has the situation come to now, sir? You know, what's the current status?
I know, Nityagar, I know one company that filed 2,000 applications.
2,000?
2,000 applications.
Wow.
And they got selected. They filed 0 H-1Bs.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah. So they collect hundreds of their H-1Bs. They didn't file it. Of course, there's a criminal prosecution against them. These are the things that we come to know. A lot of employees consult us. Hey, you know, I spoke with this company. I applied the H-1B lottery to this company. This company is not filing. Why are they not filing? Then look, actually, we got a freedom of information from the USCIS. We got a data. Which company filed how many H-1Bs, we got a data of it. Okay. I don't know how many other lawyers filed the freedom of information. We filed it, we got the information. So when we have these consultants asking us, you know, to discuss about it, we look into our data, which we don't release it outside, even though it's a freedom of information. So we tell, hey, look, you know, your company filed 2,000 H-1B. Did you know about it? I didn't.
Am I to take that we cannot disclose the name of that company over here, sir?
No, of course, not here. Not here. But yeah. But I don't know. One day we may even publish that freedom of information online. I mean, there's nothing. We may publish it online, but I don't want to take because we had private consultations with these people. So I definitely will publish that pretty soon on our website. At RN Law Group, we'll publish it. Anybody who is involved in multiple filings, we strongly recommend that if you are contemplating on filing H-1B, please do consult a lawyer before you do any of those things. If you are involved in those things, still we see a lot of H-1B revocations that got approved last year in the multiple filings. We got a lot of problems for those people who are going for the consulate for stamping. We got a lot of problems when the people are trying to enter into the United States. We definitely recommend if any of those people get involved in these multiple filings, though, to contact a lawyer. Why, Nitya Garu, why is that even though the employee was not involved in the multiple filings, why is this guy gets punished? It's like this, Nitya Garu. Let's say, for example, you and I decided, let's go rob the bank. Okay. So now you clearly mentioned to me that, no, don't shoot anybody, don't kill anybody, don't harm anybody, but just to go put a gun and get the money withdrawn there from the bank. But in the process, if I kill somebody, Nitya Garu, you are responsible for it because we both agreed to rob the bank. Okay. So definitely if people have collaborated in filing the multiple applications, though, they are getting something called misrepresentation and a lifetime ban to ever come into United States. Especially when they go to the consulate, they are getting it done there. That's a problem. So they're asking, I didn't do anything. I didn't know that that multiple filings is wrong. Well, you are supposed to know the law. You are supposed to know the law. You are supposed to know the law. Even if the president of this country tells you to do something wrong, you do wrong, you'll be punished. And it's happening right now. Some of the people are getting hanged because they followed Trump instructions or illegally Trump instructions. It's a little controversy to say whether he said it, he didn't say it. It's a big issue, though, that we are not going to enter into. But you are supposed to know the law. You're supposed to follow the law. The law was that you cannot collaborate with the people who are intending to defraud USCIS.
Got it. Sir, when these people are filing for their H-1Bs or before showing up at the consulate, can they also file for this Freedom of Information Act and get a list of companies just to make sure that they're not?
They can. The only problem is that it will take about 6 months for them to get it.
6 months, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And sometimes if you want to get it faster, then you have to file a court case against them and it will take about 3 months or so to get that information from the court. Okay. That's expensive.
Why aren't they just publishing this list, sir? Like, what is holding them back right now?
I don't know. They probably are, see, a lot of these things, what they do is called indictments. So they go to the grand jury. They do a secret indictment against a lot of these companies, though. What is a secret indictment is, let's say, for example, a company has defrauded the USCIS. They have the list of that employer. What they do is that they go to the grand jury, which is a secret. The grand jury and jury are different, though. In the grand jury, they go and they will request, can we prosecute against this particular company? So what happens is that when the grand jury gives the permission to prosecute, they will give them the evidence. Hey, these are the evidences we got it. Here is the application they got it. When the grand jury permits it, the court gives a lot of authority to the administration to tap the phones of the people, to tap the emails, to tap a lot of different things, and then get the information from them. And at this time, though, by this time, they don't inform the person whom they are charging. So let's say for one particular company called ABC Consulting Company has filed 2000 lottery, okay? 2000 lotteries of the H-1B. And the particular person is John Doe, who is the CEO of this company. ABC company, John Doe, they go to the grand jury, they get the permission. And they do it secretly, though. They don't do it. It's called sealed indictment. Means there is an indictment, but they don't open it to the people. So they probably, so right now, a lot of USCIS and the prosecutors are working on a lot of those bigger companies. And it takes almost 1 to 2 years for most of these secrets to come out. It's called sealed indictment. And then they try to prosecute against these people. That's when they don't want to inform these companies that, hey, we are going against you, and they don't want to release that information, though. That's the main reason, I think, so that they don't publish it. Now, they did publish, Nitya Garu, that approximately around about 400,000 people filed the duplicate applications. Out of those, 90,000 people were involved in this 400,000 applications. They published it. They published it. They didn't name any of those people. They published it. 90,000 people, we are watching you. You filed for 400,000 applications. We're watching you. They published it. They published it in the past 4 or 5 years, since the time the lottery system began, in where you do $10 lottery. They published it from that time itself. It's growing and growing and growing. So they published it. So we will, they didn't publish the names. Names, if you want to know it, then you have to file a freedom of information. But which we filed it, but it's taking a little bit time for us to get it. We filed it last year, which we got it. This year, that means in 2023, we haven't got that information yet. We most probably are going to get it by 2024, somewhere between March and June, we'll get it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Let's take our caller. Okay. Caller with number ending in 1573. 1573, we're ready for you now. Hello?
Yes. Hello, Andy. Hello, Rahul Garu. Happy Diwali, sir.
Happy
Both
Diwali.
of you. Sir, this is Prasad, and my EB2 priority date is 2015 February, sir. It came to 2015 January and it retrogressed, sir. Any upcoming news that it is going to be it is going to be moved for 1 or 2 more years next upcoming visa bulletin, sir?
Very unlikely, though. The reason is that the applications that are pending right now, the 485 applications that are pending with the government that are in EB2 and EB3 are approximately around 30,000 applications are pending from Indians, though. This is the estimate that we have. So even if it's we discount it to about 25,000, though. Every year, we are expected to get approximately under EB2 and EB3, approximately around 6,000 green cards, though. For us to go to 2015, though, it may take at least 4 to 5 years if the rest of the world is backlogged, though. So that's where the problem comes in. Until we go there, it's very tough. So it may take a couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years for us to clean the ones which are already in the system. Okay, so I want you to stay there where you are and be prepared to stay there for where you are for at least the next half decade. Okay? No, I think so. We lost him. Nitya Garu, are you there?
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, sir, if you're watching this, please go ahead and do what Rahul Garu tells you to do, because that is what we think is going to be the most likely outcome. All right, I'm going to take a question, Andy, from our live chat viewers. This is from Ram. He says, client location is Chicago. Is it mandatory to only land at Chicago when I come to USA on work visa the first time? I'm planning to visit a family member in Washington. Please suggest if I can land anywhere in the US.
Absolutely. You can land anywhere, but your plans should be to go to Chicago once you land in Washington. As long as you have the plans to go to Chicago, that's fine. Especially if you have any tickets going from Washington to Chicago, because it's not something that you can walk from there to there or go in a car. It's a very long distance. If you have a ticket, even if you don't have a ticket, if you have plans to go from Washington, D.C. to Chicago, that's not a problem. You can land in Washington. It's not going to create any problem.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir. So just a quick question on this thing. So what if that person suddenly decides that he wants to stay in Washington but continue to work for the same end client? How does that work?
Not allowed. The reason is that, Nitya Garu, that LCA only permits him to work in Chicago. So he has to go in Chicago only.
Okay.
He can't just work wherever he wants to.
Okay. But can they move after that though, if they want to?
Once they go to Chicago, they can, if they want to move to Washington or Florida, most probably the likely destinations for the Indians seems to be Dallas or your city, Atlanta. So if they want to any of those cities, yeah, I know a lot of Indians are moving to Dallas and Atlanta. So they need to file an LCA from those locations, and they need to file an amendment before moving into Dallas and Atlanta, not after moving into Dallas and Atlanta.
Before. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
And is there like a minimum period they need to stay there, sir, before they can do so?
No, I mean, I would say that there is nothing minimum, but even a 1 week or 10 days is perfectly fine. Because let's say nowadays, a lot of these jobs are going remote. So people wants to go remote though, they can go to remote and nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Question from Sidhu Reddy Andi says, advance parole document lost in delivery by USPS. Is it possible to request another one from USCIS? Please suggest options.
Yes, you can file a duplicate application, but you have to file 131 again and request them a duplicate. You need to send your pictures again. Now, the only problem is it may take a long time for you to get the duplicate application. It may take a long time, anywhere between 2 months to 18 months to get the duplicate application approved. Yeah, that's how much it is. One good news to take out of that I want to tell you, the audiences and the people who are getting EAD and advanced parole approvals, is that they are getting it for 5 years. Remember, Nitya, they used to get for 1 year. Now they started getting for 2 years. Now it's 5 years.
5 years.
Which is,
okay, wow.
Remember that what I said to the other gentleman, then it's taking a long time for them. Maybe be prepared there to be there for the next half decade. Yeah, right. They are giving approvals for EAD and advanced parole for the half decade right now.
Wow, that is impressive, Andy. That's such a
relieving thing.
Blessing, I would say, because the whole process of filing and waiting and especially with the advanced paroles, because they would take forever and you cannot travel anywhere. You just like kind of bound to the desk. So that's great news, Andy. Also, are they sending it in the same card or are they sending in 2 separate documents now?
If especially back in your time, Nitya, I mean, they used to send differently. EAD used to be separate, advanced parole used to be separate, and then they started combining the cards. Then they started separating the cards. Right now, it's 50-50. Sometimes they combined it and send it. Sometimes they separate it. The problem with separating is that the EAD is getting approval faster, but the advanced parole is taking a long period of time.
Yes. Sir, why is that happening?
I don't know. It's an administrative nightmare for those people to approve both the things separately. I don't know why they do it. They should have been doing it together. I don't understand why they do it. But we're going to visit the service centers.
For this, the parameters on which they do their verification different?
No, there is nothing. Is it just because the person is staying in Dallas? Is it different? This person is staying in Atlanta, it's different, or is it different? No, there is nothing. I mean, is it because there is no parameter, nothing at all for us to judge? Okay, this person gets an EAD and advanced parole together. This person will get separate. There's nothing like that. One thing is for sure, though, if you file it together, there is a very greater chance for you to get it together. If you file it separately, then the chance will be definitely you're going to get it separately.
Got it.
And why would you file it separately? For example, if they have given EAD, which is expiring in, let's say, May of 2024, and then you have an advanced parole, which is actually expiring in May of 2025, then you have to file it separately. That's where the problem comes in. I will tell people that go and file it together. Even if there is one which is expiring right now and one which is expiring later on, let's file it together. What the heck, at the most, they will reject it.
Correct, yeah. Why not, right?
Yeah. And you can always refile that application if that happens.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Let's take our next caller, Randy. Okay. Caller with number ending in 9888. 9888. We're ready for you now. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Happy Diwali.
Good evening. Happy Diwali. So I had this one question, sir. This is regarding, so my H1B got approved this October, and I'm planning to go for stamping. My question is that if my company is also willing to file my PERM this year, should I get it done like before going for stamping, or does it really matter if I do it after getting the stamping?
It does not matter whatsoever at all whether you file the PERM before or after. It will not cause any problem, none whatsoever at all, for you to get the stamping done when the PERM has been filed. The H1B application, it is considered to be as a dual intent, so it won't have any difference, none whatsoever at all. One thing I will tell you is that get the PERM filed at ASAP. That's irrespective of your stamping.
Great. And another quick question, just adding over to it. So is there basically a time limit in which I need to file the PERM? Is it like 3 years?
There's no time limit, but the only thing is that if you file the PERM application, if you try to contemplate on filing it later on, though, you will not be eligible to get the H1B extension beyond 6 years. You know that for you to get the more than 6 years of H1B, you need to get an I-140 approval, for which you require the PERM application. So as soon as possible is the best solution for you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling. All right, Rahul, I have a question for you. This is from Rajesh. Says, I'm awaiting I-140 EB3 approval, receive the EAD. Is it okay to change job with EAD? How long it takes for the I-140 approval, given that USCIS processing timetable shows 3.5 months, but my case has been pending for past 6 months?
I'm waiting for I-140 EB3 approval receipt. Yeah, that's a little bit long time for him to get an how long it takes I-140 approval given the USC process. It's a little bit long time. I don't know which EAD he's speaking about. Is he speaking of compelling circumstances EAD, which is taking approximately 8 months? Is he taking the 485 EAD? 485 EAD is only taking 3.5 months though. But if it costs 6 months though, definitely you can contact the administrator. You can raise a service request where you can request the USCIS to administer fastly.
Okay.
Compelling circumstances EADs are taking 8 months, but 485 EADs are only taking 3.5 months.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, sir. All right. Let's take our next caller, Andy. Okay. Thank you, sir. Caller with number ending in 7479. 7479, we're ready for you now. Hello?
Hello, Nitya garu. Hello, Rahul garu. Thanks for
Happy
your time.
Diwali. Thank you for calling, sir. Go ahead.
Happy Diwali to you, both of you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So my question is, I got a green card and my son also got a green card. Now he's in 12th grade. Thank you. He's in a 12th grade and I'm thinking to send him to India to get his medical, because for science here is expensive and the long term to complete. So if we send him next year, like we got a year back our green card, suppose if we send him next year to India to pursue his MBBS or medicine, and is there any problem for him to apply for citizenship?
Absolutely.
How
Good
to
question.
manage? Okay.
Good question. Because for citizenship, though, there are a couple of requirements that you have to do. One thing is that if he is outside the country for more than 1 year, okay, which he can be, but he needs to apply something called re-entry permit for him to do that thing. More than 1 year at a single stretch, though, then he will have to wait for next 5 years. Let's say, for example, he goes to India, stays there for 2 years and comes back, 1.5 years and comes back though. So again, the 5 years starts again for him. You know 5 years. I don't have to explain you that 5 year citizenship rule is, right?
Yeah, I got
So
it.
that's,
Yeah, I have that idea.
That's one thing that you have to be very careful about. The other thing is that if any time out of the past 5 years, he has to be physically present in United States, that means his butt has to be in USA for 2.5 years. Let's say he goes to medical school. Every 6 months, he keeps coming back into the United States, spends a week and goes back outside the country. But then he only spent 1 year because he got the green card 1 year. And then later on, by the time he goes to 5 years, he's only spent 1.5 years in the United States. He is not eligible for the citizenship. You got it?
Okay. Yeah. So even 6 months, once in 6 months or during his holidays, yearly, maybe 2-3 months, he can't spend.
Physically, he has to be present here in the country for 2.5 years. It doesn't have to be straight, but it has to be 2.5 years out of the past 5 years for him to get the citizenship. Then comes another question. If he is outside the country for more than 6 months, though, okay, 180 days, though, they have a discretion to deny the 485 application, though. For that, you need to take lot of, not 485, sorry, the citizenship application. For that, you have to take a lot of precautions for him to do that thing. I would definitely recommend to consult a lawyer. That's number one. Number two is that I want him to file a re-entry permit, even though I don't want him to use a re-entry permit, which allows him to stay up to 2 years outside the country. But I still want him to file it, but not use it, because what happens is that he expects to come back within 1 year. What happens if there is some practicals where he has to do it and cut the dead bodies? I don't know, whatever these doctors have to do it to get their degrees. And if you have to cut the dead bodies and all those things, and then he can't come into the United States in that period of time, and then will we let him lose the green card? No. For that, you have to file a re-entry permit, though. So you file it right now. You can take a chances whether he's going to stay there for 1 year. I strictly recommend that he comes into United States within 180 days every time. It's worth, though. Believe me, it's worth. You don't want to deal with the immigration. You don't want to deal with me. Let him come every 6 months. If needed, give him a business class, whatever it is required for him to come into the United States. But he keeps coming under 180 days, okay? Applies for the re-entry permit, and he probably needs to apply a couple of re-entry permits, because one re-entry permit will be allowing
even though we explain it's a educational purpose, there is no other reason, because usually he's studying outside, abroad, right? Basically.
Yeah, so that's fine. That's good for that's good for re-entry permit explanation. But still, I want him to apply for re-entry permit, and still I don't want him to use a re-entry permit.
Yeah. All the time within 180 days, every time he has to step in US and stay some time and go back. And once he completes his course, he come back, then he has to spend another 2.5 years to apply his citizenship.
Depends on his total presence in the country should be, out of the past 5 years, should be 2.5 years. You're right. If you're planning in that way, you're right. So most probably it'll take about 5 years for him to complete the medicine there. And then once he comes back, it'll take 2.5 years for him to get the citizenship. Yes, you have to be prepared for that.
Oh, okay. I think you clarified me. Thank you.
Now, I suggest people that if you're going, only reason for you to go is to save the money to get the medicine. Definitely, that's definitely not a good reason. But definitely, I know that, in India, after 12th, you directly can go to medicine. Here, the people have to do the entire bachelor's degree. We know how the kids will change in between. If that's the reason why you're thinking, that's definitely worth for you to go to medicine. Money is not the reason.
That is exactly the reason.
I agree.
Yeah, that is exactly the reason.
I agree with you. Yeah. Money should not be the reason, because let them take the loans. They'll pay the loan in 1 or 2 years. That's not a big deal. But I agree with your reason. I agree with your reason. It's not the money. It's the other issue that you have.
Right. Correct.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling, Andy.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Rahul Garu, does this hold no matter which country they're planning to go to for studies, or is this specifically for India that you're saying this?
Any country. There are some people who are going to Caribbean, Because if they go to Caribbean, they keep visiting United States very frequently. Because there they just go to hostel, they just don't want to stay there. They want to come to visit their parents anyway. So that's different there in Caribbean when it goes to India. But irrespective whether they go to Caribbean, Ukraine, or whichever country they are, not Ukraine, sorry. Yeah, it used to be a popular destination before to go to medicine. Yeah, any country they go to, it's better to apply for a re-entry permit. It's better to keep them under 180 days. That's important.
Okay, got it. Thank you. All right, let's take our next caller. Caller number ending in 3574. 3574, we're ready for you now. Hello?
Yeah, hi sir, hi madam, happy
Hi
Diwali.
sir, happy Diwali. Thank you for calling, Andy.
Yeah, thank you madam. Thanks for the opportunity for asking these questions. My question is like my priority date is 2014 September. So both my EB2 and EB3 I480 FI are in process. So I'm planning to change job from company A to B. So my question here is it really mandatory to file I485J immediately once I join the company B? Or
No.
If not, what are the consequences later on?
No consequences, no negative consequences. You don't have to file a 485J supplement. Remember when I told people moving from Chicago to Dallas or to Atlanta, they have to file a H-1B amendment before they move to Dallas or Atlanta. Remember, not afterwards, is right? But when it comes to, when it comes to the 485J supplement, do they need to file the 485J supplement immediately before joining the company? No. They need to file it after joining the company within 1 month? No. Do I recommend to file the 485J supplement immediately? No. You can always file the 485J supplement at the time if you get an RFE. You can file the 485J supplement if there is an interview with the USCIS. Then you need to take the 485J supplement. Otherwise, you don't need to. The other thing is that do you need to file for EB2 or EB3? Well, you can file for either of those things. It doesn't matter. The question is that whichever becomes current, I'm going to use it. If EB3 moves forward, I'm going to use EB3. If EB2 moves forward, I'm going to do EB2. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And my final question is like, so if I change the company B, right, sir? So my position job with company B is manager, but my I-485
what
with
manager?
company A
Are you laundry
background.
manager? What manager? Are you laundry manager, cleaning manager, restaurant manager? What
IT
manager
manager.
are you? Thank you. Just use the word. I only want to use the software word or IT. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Now you go ahead.
Yeah.
You are in
IT
software.
manager.
Whenever you say manager, we don't know what do you mean by manager. Are you a sports manager? Are you a floor manager? What manager? Are you a retail manager? What manager? Don't ever use the word manager without using IT for me. Please.
I got it, sir. I completely agree. So yeah, here is the position with new company B is IT manager, but my I-485 is during the company A, it filed like technical background. I mean IT technical background position. So is it fine? Like
you are moving from software, you are moving from IT to what? IT again. Simple. You good?
Yeah.
Don't tell me that you're managing the floor of a McDonald's or you're managing the McDonald's restaurant to becoming a manager of an IT. No, don't just tell me you're moving from one IT to another IT. That's it. You're good.
Oh, okay, cool, sir. The reason I asked because the similar or same, right? The job description should be.
That's the reason I asked you. Are you IT or are you kind of restaurant manager? You told me IT. And the next job you're going to is going to be IT. That's it. That's all I know.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Very good.
Got it. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time, sir. Thank you.
So much for calling in.
I appreciate it.
I don't know, Nitya Garu, these software guys, they don't want to use the word software. Is it something bad word? I don't know. They use everything else but software. And then I get confused. What do you mean by manager? I don't understand manager means.
No, I guess it probably gives them a feeling that they're not explaining it adequately by just saying I'm a software.
So the IT guys, they live in a well. They think that's the only world that they have. So then they segregate themselves and then they tell Java, and like I get confused. That's a coffee that I eat, that I drink early in the morning. I love Java though. So they said Oracle. Oracle means the one that reads the hand. So for me, they have to tell me it's software. Java software, not coffee. Oracle means not the Oracle, Oracle software.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, let's take our next caller. Caller with number ending in 1177. 1177, we're ready for you now. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hi, happy Diwali, Nitya Garu and Rahul Garu.
Happy Diwali, sir.
Yes,
Thank you for calling in. Sorry.
So my question is, I'm working for company B from 2020, from the year 2020, company B. And my company B filed my PERM in October 2023. And my 6-year max out, including the recapture days, is next year, November 2024. So the question is, when is the right time for me to file for an 1-year extension if the
when did you file the labor certification?
It's October 2023, and my 6-year max out, including recapture days, is November 2024.
Okay, I see the point. You could file the H1B in somewhere in June of 2024. You can file the H1B extension for 1 year.
Oh, I can file in June itself? Okay,
Yeah,
so I thought
file.
maybe I should wait until it crosses 365 days.
No, you can. We have done it. We have done successfully, but I want you to file in premium processing though, because I don't want, because there are very less percentage of officers that will say that you have to file it only after October of 2024. Very less percentage of people. But what if you file in June and you file normal processing, and in November you get, or let's say we are in December of 2024 and we get a denial at that point of time. Less chances for it if we get a denial at that point of time. It's not a good idea. For any extensions though, I want to get it adjudicated before the I-94 expires though. So irrespective of which one. So definitely I want you to file in premium processing, and June is good for you.
June is good for me. And one more question. So since my PERM is filed for EB2, and my company, I'm working for company B from 2020 year, from the year of 2020. So before that, I worked for company A for about 5 years, but I did not get any experience certificate when I quit that company and joined company B. So while filing I-140, so do I need the experience certificate of my company A where I worked for 5 years, or the company B I'm working from 2020 to till now? So that company experience certificate is enough for EB2 while filing for I-140.
The question is that how many years of experience does the position for which you are applying? Let's say, for example, do you have a master's degree?
No, I have bachelor's with almost like 9 years of experience.
Yeah. So what we need is that we have to complete typically for EB2 application, they will say 5 years experience is required. If you have 9 years experience though, but if you have experience letter that are enough for 5 years, we don't need the rest of the 4 years.
Oh,
you got it?
Okay. Yeah. So then in that case, I don't have to worry about my previous company A's experience certificate.
As long as you have if out of the 9 years, you have the experience letters for 5 years, which is what bachelor's plus 5 years for EB2 is, then you don't need it. Okay? If by any chance people who are listening to this conversation, if some people still need to get the experience letters because they need that though, there is an alternative thing. If the company does not give an experience letters, what are alternative thing? There are 2 articles written by Emily Newman in immigrationgirl.com that if the company does not provide experience letters, what is required? It's mentioned in there. I want you to read that article in immigrationgirl.com.
Sure. I will go through with that. And one more thing. Say for example, if I lost my job or my job is ended, so will it cause any problem with the PERM approval process?
Yeah, kind of thing. Will they withdraw the PERM? That's number one. Number two is that will they file the I-140 application after you leave the job, after the job is terminated? That's going to be very, very dangerous for you. Because you will only get 1 year extension. When you file in June of 2024, you will only get 1 year of H-1B extension. After that 1 year, which will be November of 2025, then you have to go and extend your H-1B again. Is that right? Then what will you show? Previously, you said labor certification was pending, but right now there's no labor certification pending. Labor is approved, or labor has been withdrawn, or labor has been approved, but they didn't file the I-140 application. Then you will not be eligible for the 8th year H-1B extension.
Okay, but if the company insists, even if I lost my job, if the company insists to continue with the processing, they can do?
Yeah, yes, they can.
Oh,
yes,
company can still do if they are willing to do. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the information. Thanks.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. Thank you. All right. Now I have a couple of questions from our live chat viewers as well. Question from Gangadhar. He says, I've got my I-140 approved June of 2019. Priority date is May 2018 for my previous employer. Am I eligible for applying for getting the 5-year EAD once my I-140 is done from current employer?
At this point of time, we do not have the 5-year EAD at this point of time. There is a confusion between the 5-year EAD and there's a lot of confusion on what a 5-year EAD. Let me explain what a 5-year EAD is, Nitya Garu. You might be getting confused, right? So the 5-year EAD, people get it after filing the 485. Remember when you filed the 485 in 2007, you used to get an EAD for 1 year. That 1 year is 5 years right now after filing the 485 application. But right now there is a proposal pending by some advisory agency that recommends, I don't know who appointed this agency. You and me can say that we are an agency and we are advisory, whatever we want to say. This is a freedom of speech here. We can say that we advise President Biden. Okay, we advise by doing this YouTube show. We advise President Biden. Okay, we do it. Now we send a letter. So now we say, hey, we are advisors of the President Biden. We are sending a letter. So some advisory committee like that did send a letter to the Biden administration saying that if there is a I-140 has been approved for more than 5 years and pending, though, they should get an EAD. That's what he's speaking about. Now, at this point of time, there is no legislation, there is no administration that is allowing you to get that EAD if the I-140 has been approved for more than 5 years. There is nothing like that. So it's very hard for me to discuss that what will be the terms of those things. So in Telugu, there is a samata. Alu ledu, sulu ledu, koduku peru somalingam. So there is a guy who comes to visit the girl to look into the girl and proposal. You know how it happens. We call penli chupulu. So the girl gives a tea to that guy. And of course she likes him. And then she goes there and the mom and the girl were discussing that once the marriage happens and there will be a child, and what will be the child's name? The mom, the mother-in-law, wants the name to be something. The daughter wants him to be Somalingam.
Okay.
And they keep on scribbling and fighting, and they forget about this guy there who's sitting in the room. And they keep on fighting. So at this point, that is called that alu ledu, sulu ledu. Means there is no marriage, there is no pregnancy. And now we are fighting for the name of the individual.
That's
so
it.
this is not the right time to fight for it. There will be a time for it to fight it. We'll fight it. So it's very hard for me to tell what are the terms of those things at the time when the things come in. Right now, the essence thing is to attend this guy who is sitting there. He has done with his tea, but he still needs the rest of the things to be answered. So please attend to it. And that attendance is what I'm seeking from you guys, is by writing the administration the letter to allow the people who has I-140 is approved to get an EAD. And TVASIA provides that information. Please take the opportunity to write the letter. Don't fight for the name of Somalingam at this point of time, but attend to the guy who is sitting in the drawing room. Please, the tea is over, but still you need to go sit down and chat with him.
Got it. Thank you, sir. That is a good analogy. All right, let's take our next caller on that note. Okay, caller number ending in 1177. 1177. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, sir. Happy Diwali. Thank you for calling, Andy. Go ahead, sir.
Happy Diwali, ma'am. రాహుల్ గారు, నాకు క్వశ్చన్ ఉందండి. చాలా సార్లు నేను మీ వీడియోలో చూస్తున్నాను. కొన్నిసార్లు మీరు ఈ డ్రైవింగ్ అండర్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ కానీ, రిక్లెస్ డ్రైవింగ్ కానీ, తర్వాత ఈ క్రిమినల్ కేసు, సివిల్ కేసు ఇలాంటివి మీరు నిత్య గారితో డిస్కస్ చేసినప్పుడు విన్నాను. సో అడగాల వద్దా అనుకొని ఈ రోజు అడుగుతున్నాను. క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే, నా తమ్ముడు 2018లో పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నాడండి. హైదరాబాద్ లో పనిచేసేవాడు ఐటీ కంపెనీలో. అమ్మాయి ఏమో ఇక్కడ యుఎస్ లో పనిచేసేది. 2018లో ఇద్దరిది పెళ్లి అయింది. పెళ్లి చేసుకుని ఇక్కడ వచ్చినాక అమ్మాయి చెల్లెలు ఇక్కడ మ్యారేజ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ చేయించుకున్నారు. అమ్మాయి చెల్లెలు విట్నెస్ సిగ్నేచర్ పెట్టేసి అమ్మాయి మా తమ్ముడిని ఇక్కడ కూడా మ్యారేజ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ చేయించుకుంది. అవసరం లేదు కదా, ఇలాగ ఇండియాలో పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నాం కదా అంటే, ఏం లేదు, ముందర మనకి ఇల్లు కొనాలన్నా, అది ఇది ప్రాపర్టీ కొనాలన్నా అన్నిటికీ మనకి యూస్ఫుల్ గా ఉంటుంది ఇక్కడ సర్టిఫికేట్ చేయించుకుంటే అని చెప్పేసి లైట్ గా చేసుకున్నారండి ఇక్కడ మ్యారేజ్ సర్టిఫికేట్. అమ్మాయి అక్కడ ఇండియాలో పెళ్లి అయినా ఇక్కడ వచ్చినాక వాళ్ళ చెల్లెలే ఇక్కడ విట్నెస్ సిగ్నేచర్ సైన్ చేసి పెట్టిందండి. తర్వాత 5 years అయిపోయిందండి, పాప కూడా పుట్టింది. ఇప్పుడు స్టేట్ ఏ నుంచి స్టేట్ బికి మారారండి, ఇల్లు కొనుక్కొని కొత్తది. మా తమ్ముడు H4 EAD మీద పనిచేస్తున్నాడు ఇక్కడ పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నాక. అమ్మాయి ఇక్కడ యుఎస్ లో పనిచేస్తుంది కాబట్టి ఏమైందంటే, ఇప్పుడు మా తమ్ముడు అమ్మాయి ఇద్దరు డబ్బులు వేసేసి మొత్తం సేవింగ్స్ వేసేసి ఇల్లు కొన్నాక తర్వాత స్టేట్ కి మారిన తర్వాత ఈ అమ్మాయి చేంజ్ అయిపోయిందండి సడన్ గా. వేరే వాడితో డేటింగ్ చేసుకుని మా తమ్ముని ఇంటికి రానియకుండా, పాపను కూడా చూడనీయకుండా, ముట్టకుండా ఇంటి దగ్గరికి వెళ్తే 911 కాల్ చేస్తా, డొమెస్టిక్ వైలెన్స్ కేసు పెడతా, నేను లీగల్ సపరేషన్ పేపర్స్ ఫైల్ చేశాను అని ఇచ్చేసింది అమ్మాయి. మా తమ్ముడేమో ఇల్లు ఇద్దరు పేరు మీద ఉంది, అలా ఎలా చేస్తావు నువ్వు, ఇది మోసం, ఇది సంపాదించిన డబ్బులు మొత్తం ఇల్లుకి వేసేదాకా నువ్వు ఊరుతుండి ఇప్పుడు నాకు హ్యాండ్ ఇచ్చేసి ఇంకోటి డేటింగ్ చేసుకుంటూ కూతురుని కూడా చూడనీయకుండా ఇట్లా చేస్తున్నావు అని చెప్తే వాడు కొంచెం డిప్రెషన్ లోకి వెళ్ళిపోయి అప్సెట్ అయిపోయినాడండి. దీని తర్వాత నాకు కొంచెం డౌట్ వచ్చి అమ్మాయి గురించి బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ వెరిఫికేషన్ చేశానండి యుఎస్ లో. చేసినప్పుడు తెలిసింది ఏంటంటే, ఆ అమ్మాయికి ఇంతకు ముందే ఇక్కడ యుఎస్ లో ఒక అబ్బాయిని పెళ్లి చేసుకుంది, సిటిజన్ ని. చేసుకొని ఆ అబ్బాయిని డివోర్స్ అంటే గొడవ చేసుకొని, మామూలుగా హస్బెండ్ వైఫ్ గొడవలు అయితే కదండి, అలా గొడవలు చేసేసుకొని ఆ అబ్బాయిని వదిలేసి వచ్చేసింది. తర్వాత డివోర్స్ ఆ అబ్బాయి కూడా పెట్టుకోలేదు, ఈ అమ్మాయి కూడా పెట్టుకోలేదు. సైలెంట్ గా 2 years ఉండి మా తమ్ముని పెళ్లి చేసుకుందండి. ఇది ఇప్పుడే తెలిసిందండి మాకి. సో ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్ లో ఏం చేయొచ్చని అర్థం కావడం లేదు.
సో వెయిట్ ద ఫస్ట్ మ్యారేజ్ డిసొల్యూషన్ కాలేదు, డైవర్స్ కాలేదా?
అది ఇప్పుడే తెలిసిందండి. చేసుకుని ఇక్కడ యుఎస్ లోనా వాటితో గొడవ పడి వాటితో కూడా
యు డిడ్ నాట్ ఆన్సర్ మై క్వశ్చన్. ఫస్ట్ మ్యారేజ్ డివోర్స్ అయిందా కాలేదా?
అవలేదండి.
దట్స్ కాల్డ్ బయోగమీ. దట్స్ అ క్రైమ్ ఇన్ యునైటెడ్ స్టేట్స్. Biogamy is a crime in United States. What is biogamy? Ante, if you are married to A, and while the marriage is still active, where you did not divorce A, and you married to B, it's a crime in United States. So, problem here is the second marriage is considered to be invalid. That means that your brother is considered to be illegal.
Okay. So, okay, Andy.
You see the point? Somehow, so the whole thing is illegal right now, but then you're cutting your own branch at the same time. The branch that your brother is sitting on, you're going to cut that branch. So your brother will fall down.
ఓకే. సో ఇప్పుడు ఆప్షన్ ఎలా అంటే, మేము పోలీస్ కంప్లైంట్ ఇవ్వచ్చా అండి, లేదా అటార్నీని పట్టుకొని కేసు వేయాలా అంటే?
When you're filing a complaint, you are saying that I am illegal. I'm the second person. That's where the problem is coming to me.
అంటే
అర్థమైందా మీకు?
రాహుల్ గారు, క్విక్ క్వశ్చన్.
అర్థమైందండి.
they are applying for a marriage certificate, especially here. Don't they verify that, you're supposed to not be married, Andy?
Well, you're supposed to say that you're not married before when you're applying for the marriage certificate, but there's no way for them to verify that. So we have 51 states, is that right? So you go to, have you seen the movie called Hangover? They just go in the marriage certificate, they'll give in the next 1 hour. They're in the Hangover movie. And that is actually true.
Okay. No, because
so
my husband and I also did the same thing. We got a certificate in India and got a certificate here also.
But remember, Nitya Garu, that you were married before with somebody else and we did not tell the information.
I know.
So, no, there is no way to verify it. I'm just making fun of it.
Okay. Because
there is no way of verifying. So, because you are going into Fulton County, okay, you're registering your marriage there. How many counties are there? Like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 counties there is, right? So if you are married, if this particular person is married in Fulton County before, they may come to know. But if you're married in Harris County in Houston, and then now you're going to Fulton County in Georgia, there's no way to verify that system there.
Makes sense. Okay.
No, I'm just made fun of you.
So, Rahul Garu, hello.
Chepandi.
ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే ఆ మొదటి పెళ్లి చేసుకునే అబ్బాయిని కూడా ఇండియాలో పెళ్లి చేసుకొని ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇండియాకి వెళ్ళి పెళ్లి చేసుకొని ఇక్కడికి వచ్చారండి వాళ్ళిద్దరు హస్బెండ్ వైఫ్ గా ఉంటూ ఇక్కడ వాళ్ళిద్దరు మధ్యన గొడవ అయినప్పుడు ఒక డొమెస్టిక్ వైలెన్స్ కేసు క్రియేట్ అయ్యి 911 కాప్స్ వచ్చేసి వాళ్ళ దగ్గర విక్టిమ్ స్టేట్మెంట్ సస్పెక్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ తీసుకున్నారు. అందులో వాళ్ళు మెన్షన్ చేసుకొని మేమిద్దరు హస్బెండ్ అండ్ వైఫ్ ఇండియాలో పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నాం అరేంజ్ మ్యారేజ్. తర్వాత మేము ఇక్కడ ఫ్లై అయినాము, ఇక్కడ ఉంటున్నాం మేము హస్బెండ్ అండ్ వైఫ్ గా, కానీ మేము ఇంకా ఇక్కడ యూఎస్ లో రిజిస్టర్ చేసుకోలేదు మా మ్యారేజ్ ని అని చెప్పుకున్నారు. సో ఇప్పుడు
the marriage that is registered in India is valid in USA. You don't have to get a registration done here.
ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే అక్కడ పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నారు, వెంటనే వచ్చేసారు సార్ ఇక్కడికి. అక్కడ కూడా మ్యారేజ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ చేసుకోలేదు, ఇక్కడ కూడా మ్యారేజ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ చేసుకోలేదు.
అయినా కానీ the guy listed himself in the DS-160 form that he's a spouse there before he came in. So there are a lot of places where you have to mention, are you married? Yes or no. What's your spouse name? You have to mention that. He already mentioned that. And probably she mentioned it too.
లేదు, ఎందుకంటే తను H1B వీసా మీద వచ్చింది, ఆయనేమో సిటిజన్. వీళ్ళిద్దరు పెళ్లి చేసుకొని తను H1B వీసా మీద తను ఎంటర్ అయ్యింది. తన స్టాంపింగ్ వ్యాలిడ్ ఉంటే
H1B visa మీద ఎంటర్ అయినా కూడా then it will also be listed that whether she is married or not. When she filed a domestic violence case also, in that criminal case also she has to mention, is this a domestic partner or is it a husband or wife? So it's there.
అయిపోయిందండి, ఆ పోలీస్ కంప్లైంట్ లో వచ్చేసింది.
Yeah, so we're good there.
పోలీస్ కంప్లైంట్ లో వచ్చేసిందండి.
It's a complex problem for you, brother. It's a complex problem for you.
అంటే ఇప్పుడు
I think it sounds like you need to have like an offline consultation.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Endukante this seems like a very complex and serious problem.
Case, yeah.
So you know, I'm just suggesting that you probably reach out to Rahul Garu and his company, or seek some other avenues for help to figure this out. But I think this is something that requires
very complex. Yeah.
Okay. సరే అండి, నేను కన్సల్టింగ్ తీసుకుంటానండి వెబ్సైట్ లోకి వెళ్ళేసి. కానీ అమ్మాయి తప్పించుకోవడానికి ఏం లేదు కదండి ఇప్పుడు ఆప్షన్.
We'll discuss.
Okay అండి, థ్యాంక్స్ అండి.
Sorry to hear about your situation, sir, but I hope everything works out well, అండి. Take care, sir. Thank you.
No problem, ma'am. ఈ రోజున ఇలా నుండి చాలా జరుగుతున్నాయి, సో అందుకే అడిగానండి.
I know it's unfortunate, Andy, but thank you for reaching out. I'm sure Rahul Garu and his firm can do whatever they can to help you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for answering. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Let's take our next caller, Andy. Thank you.
Nitya Garu, here the problem manaku vachindi entante, this guy is actually illegal. When he consults me, this guy will be the illegal person, unfortunately, because he's a second person. She's already married with somebody else, so that's a problem.
And there's a child also involved, which makes
yeah.
Oh my God, that's really unfortunate. I hope things get sorted out. I really hope they do. All right, let's take our next caller. Caller with number ending in 4430. 4430, we're ready for you now.
Hi,
hello, sir.
Can you hear
Happy
me?
Diwali, sir. Thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Happy Diwali to Rahul Garu and Nitya Garu. Thank you. Rahul Garu, my question is, I was with employer A. I'm a software developer. I am currently on I140, and my I140 got approved. I was with the employer A, and now recently, a month ago, I have transferred to employer B now. However, my employer A is not willing to give me the experience letter. So now when I'm doing the process of I-140 transfer to employer B, the new employer, do I need to have that experience letter as a mandatory when I'm applying for I-140 or the PERM?
There are many exceptions available. The question is that when the employer B, how many years of experience do you have?
I do have 7.5 years of experience in US. I'm a master's degree holder.
How many years of experience? How many years of experience you have with this
7.5.
company A? How many with company A?
Oh, company A, it's like 8-9 months. That's it.
99% of the time you won't need it.
Okay, sir. Mean to say there is a, like a middle vendor who has given me, but this employer did not provide that. So
as I said to you,
just in case
as I said, typically we require experience of 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, at the most 5 years though. If you have 7.5 years of experience, only 9 months with company A, that means that you have 6.5 years of experience with company XYZ or some other companies, and you're getting the experience letter from them. You would not need the experience with company A when you're filing with an I-140 with company B, because company B most probably will only require at the most 5 years experience, which out of 7.5 years, you already are getting experience letter from other companies.
Thank you, sir. Got the clarity. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. Okay, let's take our next caller. All right. Caller with number ending in 4229. 4229, we're ready for you. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, ma'am. Happy Diwali. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, ma'am.
Happy Diwali. Thank you. So my question is, I will be moving from one state to another within the U.S. and I will be working remotely. I'm on H-1B right now. Within how many days should my company file for an H-1B amendment?
Before you move. So let's say you're moving from Chicago to Dallas. So let's say you're moving on November 25th. They have to file an amendment on November 24th before you move, not November 26th.
Okay. So another question with that is, once I move to this new place, I will be staying in a temporary accommodation for about 30 days. And then I would have like a permanent space. So what address will the attorney put in?
You can put the temporary place, and I'm assuming that the permanent place will be within 30 miles from the temporary place. And they don't have to file one more amendment once you move from the temporary location to the permanent location.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, so another question with that is, so like right now in the place that we are staying, we have a house that we will be selling within maybe another month or so. So do we have to, like, can I use my address that is over here till I have this permanent address in the other state, or does it like depend on when I'm actually moving there?
So let's say, for example, right now you're in Chicago, right? Let's assume that you're in Chicago. So if you're moving to Dallas, okay, do you know the address where you're moving? If you don't know the address, find a cousin or somebody who, not yet, but you will know there is a cousin or friend or somebody like that, is that right? You can use that particular person's address and then file an LCA, file an amendment and move there, okay? And then later on, after a month or so, then you will have your own home or whatever, whether your own apartment or your home in Dallas or Atlanta, which where most of the people move to. Then you can move there. So you can give your cousin's address for a while. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So it has, okay. And And the AR11 update for USCIS, that should also be done before I move, or?
That can be done within 10 days after you move. But amendment need to file before you move.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
By the way, from which city to which city are you moving? Just for my curiosity.
Yeah, so we are moving from Pennsylvania to Atlanta, Georgia. So
there you go. Everybody moves to Atlanta or Dallas. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
My guess is always right.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Move to Dallas.
Bye. Thank you.
We don't have income taxes. They do.
Definitely move to Dallas only, please. Don't
Sure,
come to
maybe the
Atlanta.
next time.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm glad she's given us some options. Yes. Okay. Thanks, Andy. Thank you so much for calling. All right. Let's take our next caller. Bye.
I mean, for Indians, Dallas and Atlanta has become a destination. Everywhere you go in Dallas and in Atlanta, these two cities are filled with them. They are all moving there.
Yes, it has. All right. No more people moving. We've put a board up now, like we're full. Now. Caller with number ending in 2959. 2959, we're ready for you. Hello?
Hello, Nitya garu. Hi, Rahul garu.
Hi, sir. Happy Diwali. Thank you for calling.
Happy Diwali to you too. Happy
Go ahead,
Diwali to
sir.
you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rahul garu, I have a quick question, Andy. So I'm currently on L1A, and my EB1 has been filed, I140, and the priority date was May 2023.
Was it EB1
And,
approved or not yet? You filed it, but I'm very curious to know whether it... Okay.
Yeah, it got approved on June, within a month. So, and then the question which I have is like, if my company wants to file H1 because of the EB1 priority date, the only question which I have is like, do they need to file the PERM and all, or it would be a straight if I get picked in the lottery?
Oh, so you haven't have the H1B right now, is that right?
Yeah, I'm right now on L1A.
And this was an EB1C or EB1A that's approved?
EB1C.
So your question is, no, you have to go to the H1B lottery though.
Correct. Yeah, the company is ready to file. So if the company files the H1 and if the lottery gets picked, do they need to again file the PERM and then all the process, or since the I140 has already been approved?
No. I-140 is already approved. No PERM for you, no I-140 for you. You're working for the same company. Absolutely. You go through the H1B, you go through the lottery system. That's it. You don't go through the labor and I-140 again. No.
Got it. So since the I-140 is approved, the process, the PERM process, all is not required.
You don't need,
just that,
not required. Absolutely not required.
It's just that I need to get picked in the lottery. That's the only.
That's very crucial for you to pick in the lottery, because otherwise, once you complete the 7 years of L1 visa, then you have not, you will have to leave the country and you will have to go outside the country.
Right. Yeah.
You can't extend the L1.
Because,
you can't extend the L1 visa.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the only question which I had, because yeah, that's the only risk which we have to take, right? Because otherwise we have to leave the country and for 1 year and then come back if the dates are not current. Okay.
Absolutely, you're right.
Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you so much for calling, Andy.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
All right, folks, I know we still have a ton of questions and some callers coming in on the live chat as well as the caller line. But unfortunately, as always, we're all out of time today. Thank you for taking out the time on such a special day like Diwali and still joining us with your questions. We really appreciate that, Andy. Rahul Garu, thank you so much, Andy, for taking your time and spending it with all our callers and our viewers as well. We really appreciate that.
Thank you, Nitya Garu.
To all our viewers, have a safe, happy Diwali, or what's left of it. But we'll see you same time, same place next week. And until then, have a great and safe week. Bye.